Star Wars Empire War is a real-time strategy game released in 2006 by LucasArts and Petroglyph. It is considered one of the best Star Wars video games of all time, and up to this day, thanks to its constant modding community, it is still alive up to 14, almost 15 years after its release. But what has made this game not only so attractive and at the same time, how can one keep up with the constant not only updates from modders, but overall the amount of rules that the game may have? My name is NergyGamer or NGG, and today I'd like to show you how to play Star Wars Empire War in 2021. An option exclusive to both the vanilla version of the game, of the gold pack, are the story modes, which would include you to play as the Empire to destroy the Rebel Alliance in a way foretold as in the movies, the same going for the Rebellion to defeat the Empire in a similar narrative as the story of the galaxy canonically. This is only available in Empire War, not the Forces of the Corruption expansion, which, speaking of, in the Forces of the Corruption expansion, you have the very exclusive story to Empire War where you play as the Zan Consortium with Tiber Zan, the leader of this group, which are a bunch of criminals which goal is to make as much profit as they can while the galaxy is engulfed in war. This being a very interesting narrative, not only because you see what happens after the Battle of Yavin, leading to the Battle of Endor, but you get a very large amount of interesting points from different views of the galaxy. It certainly does make for a very interesting campaign, regardless of which story mode you choose to play. Speaking of campaign, one of the many modes, besides the story one, is Galactic Conquest. Galactic Conquest is the mode where you essentially get into your galaxy, you have an entire universe to choose from, and you just go fight it out, duke it out, and try to take control over the entire Star Wars galaxy. This is mode most noticeably loved by not only the players but also YouTubers for making campaigns, such as I, and video series on it. It is a very enjoyable experience to just go throughout and managing your resources, building humongous fleets and armies to take over planets after invading them or even just blockading them while you get the resources necessary. Following this, you have the game mode Skirmish, which allows you to play as a faction in a 1v1 battle or even 1v3 with other factions. Usually if you're playing the Forces of Corruption expansion, you'd be playing as the Empire Rebellion and Consortium versus one of those other factions. These 1v1s or 1v1s, depending on what way you want to play it, would require you to capture mines and essentially slowly but surely overwhelm your opponent and destroy their space station. It's a very fun mode to play with friends since it's an easy game mode that can take between 15 minutes to 1 hour compared to campaigns which can take from all the way to days to weeks if not months, and if you're really unlucky, years. Following that, we have the last of the main game modes, which would be multiplayer. Multiplayer is great if you just want to have fun with friends and just kid around, since this will allow you to play skirmish modes or even full-on campaigns. If you do plan on using mods though, keep in mind that campaigns are not all supported and not all mods support multiplayer. Most mods were made for single player since they are easier to code. So essentially if you just want to have a good time, play with friends, go against Empire vs Rebellion, just duke it out with you Star Destroyers and Mon Calamari Cruisers, X-Wing TIE Fighters. Skirmish in multiplayer is my #1 recommended game mode for the most fun you can ever have in a Star Wars game. To start off, we'll be doing a bit of an introduction from the Forces of Corruption expansion, since I feel like talking with this version is definitely the most improved version of Empire War you can find from a vanilla standpoint. As you can see, it does have a tutorial. If you had any more questions about more practical gameplay, I would happily go over them in another video moving forward, but we're going to be doing a single player skirmish to show off more details about Empire War. Starting off, this is how you start a skirmish. You'll see a little bit of a layout as such. You have space, and your user being here, and another AI that you can choose to be. In this situation, I'm going to be playing as the Empire versus an easy AI of Rebellion in the map of Coruscant Siege. Simply after you choose on a map and what faction you want to play by simply clicking next to the little arrow of the faction and choosing your color and team, you can simply just click start game. If you would like to make any more changes to the game state, you can just simply click advance and the menu will pop up depending on how many cards you want to use, if you want to have heroes, free starting units, super weapons, and the winning condition. We'll just go with the default and we'll hit start game. Starting off, you have a space station and 2 starfighters if you're doing the default layout, and your first goal of course would be getting mining stations. The way that you control your units is by simply clicking on them, as you saw that I did, and then right clicking somewhere on the map. You can simply just click on the map or move your wheel, and by simply just moving it to the side of the screen, move throughout the layout until you choose a destination you want to do and right click where you want to do. And as you can see, the ship will move along and eventually it will get there. As you can see in the bottom corner, you have a bunch of different buttons. Oh, and we're engaging with the net swing. First off, you see right here the pause button. This button is only usable in single player modes. Since multiplayer, both players are playing, so the pause button is unavailable. You also have a skip forward button if you want to move the time faster, as you can see right here, a hint button, and an objective button. These buttons are usable depending if you're playing a campaign or not, or story mode to see what missions you need to do. You also have a battle cam, which is, you see here, well, not really, you can't really see much unless I'm playing. We'll show you a little bit of an aspect of what's happening from a more quote-unquote cinematic point of view. Stubble there. You'll also have, once choosing units, more options in the bottom corner. There's a bunch of buttons in this side, mainly retreating from the battle, only available if we were playing a mode in a campaign, which we are not. Calling for reinforcements if we want to bring in units. Pinging or beacons so that your ship will take a specific path. And hypervelocity gun or ion cannon if you are playing in a space battle, as we're playing right now. You also have 6 different buttons, which if seen from this direction, and we're gonna click play while our starfighters duke it out, allow us to attack, which we will simply get a crosshair and right click on where we want to attack. The move button, where we just simply can click and the units will move towards there. The move and attack button, a personal mine, which will allow for the units to move in a direction, and if they encounter any units along the way, they will automatically fight them. We'll be also building a mine facility so far. You also have the set waypoints, so your units can move in a specific pattern. The stop moving, just in case your units are doing something stupid. Let's say they start moving over there. Oh, I want them to stop moving, and they'll stop moving. This is really handy when the AI kind of screws up and the pathfinding simply doesn't work. And you also have the guard button, which simply by choosing a spot, the unit will stay in that spot and will not move from there and guard it at all costs. As you can see, we won the battle in the middle. Our interceptors were successful. So, with the amount of credits we're generating at the moment, we are going to choose an upgrade to our space station. As you can hear, the enemy space station has been upgraded, and you can also have other upgrades to yourself as enhanced armor or enhanced engines, etc. We'll simply be clicking these. Skipping a bit forward so you can see better ships and their quality, and thus get a bigger sense of the game can accomplish. An interesting little mechanic that it's also nice to remember is that the same way you can get upgrades in your space station, you can also get upgrades in the mining facilities, so you can gain more credits during both skirmishes. As you can see here, we've gotten ourselves into quite the kerfuffle, and the enemy has put in quite a few ships. Luckily, if I grab Boba Fett over here, which is nearly dead, I'll be moving him out. He's currently getting chased at the moment. Speaking of, you can zoom in with the mouse wheel, since you can scroll in. Now we'll be bringing in a few Star Destroyers. including Grand Admiral Thrawn. If I can bring him in, there we go. Darth Vader with a starfighter, and another Star Destroyer over here. We'll also be buying a few more Star Destroyers. If you have a bunch of units, you can simply click and drag, like if you're grabbing a bunch of folders, and you'll choose all the units that were within that square. As you can see, we killed everything in this path, so we'll do the attack and move order towards the enemy's space station.
Choose your reinforcements.
As you can see, this is the bringing in unit reinforcements. As you saw, units do take a time to move depending on what you've chosen. Star Destroyers are decently slow since they're pretty big, so they're gonna take a while to get there. Space station is low 4 as well. We'll be bringing in another Star Destroyer for the sake of more damage. You can simply close this and then you're out. Another cool little command to know is that if you click on a unit, you can tap C, and you can look around with the cam if you want to do some really cinematic shots. I personally really like using this for making thumbnails, and honestly, it's really cool, especially since you can go all 360 degrees through around the unit, making it really interesting. If you also want to be able to see different angles while still playing, you can hit Control and your mouse wheel, and while holding down both of them, you'll be able to do a free look around of the map, which is really nice. This control might take a while to get used to, but it's really nice for beginners to know since it allows for some really cool things. As you can see, we're about to kill the space station, and for the sake of additional damage, we're gonna grab the hypervelocity cannon, which we built while off screen, and shoot at the space station. And as you may see, there it is, which dealt a bunch of damage, which now the rest of the fleet will be able to finish off.
We are victorious.
And we win. As simple as that. Now, at the end, we'll see our battle timer, and our losses, and the enemy's losses. This is really nice if you want to flex with friends that you killed 12 Red Wings while you only lost 1 TIE Interceptor squadron. Let's move on to the ground battles. Ground battles, or land battles, are one of the coolest things you can do in Empire War, but while space battles are indeed way cooler, I feel like ground battles are highly underestimated and are still really fun. For the sake of doing an iconic map, I feel like we're gonna do, let's see, Assault on Hoth. What's not more iconic than the Battle of Hoth? We shall, in this situation, I feel like we should definitely be the Rebellion, to show a different side of things, and be fought by the Empire. So you can see, we can choose which faction to be. We'll switch it up with red and blue. And we'll now be battling from inside Echo Base, while the Empire is assaulting us with whatever they can bring at us. Starting off, you have a bunch of free units, just like in skirmish and space battles, but you also have a bunch of other different things that you'll be able to grab, such as reinforced structures in this situation with the research facility. You'll have a command center that you can use to build heroes, a barracks for the sake of building infantry and their upgrades, a light factory for small vehicles, and a heavy factory for more, well, heavier production. So far we don't have that since we do need to do our upgrades, just like in space battles, in the command center, which we'll be doing that right ahead. And there are still mining facilities that you can get, so while we do that, we'll be grabbing some of these squads. And just like in space battles, you can simply right-click on the map to move them, or move your cursor while dragging it to the side to get there, then right-click where you want them to move, and the unit will start moving towards there. We're going to be doing that while we wait here, and while we get more credits, until it's ready so that we can finally begin attacking the Empire and defending Hoth. Now we have finished getting a few things, and while we're now max tech level, we have gotten one great hero, being Luke Skywalker. Hello, Tauntaun. As you can see, the unit will land their ship,
Great to have you with us, Commander Skywalker.
and we can, as we zoom in through the shield generator, we see that we have Luke Skywalker here, who, as you may have noticed, they have special abilities that when you click them, they're able to do them into the affecting infantry or ground units. And yes, this is a shield generator. Let's see, what else can we build? We can build Obi-Wan Kenobi. I feel that's a great addition to this collection. And that stuff, I feel like we're gonna build Yoda. But we'll see when we get there. See you guys in a bit. Oh, we seem to be getting attacked, so let's go defend our shield generator before it gets destroyed by this Dark Trooper. Also, 3 Jedi. I don't know about you, but I think this is really cool. Yep, absolutely owned by Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Yoda. Which Yoda does have an ability that allows us to see the entire map from Fog of War. And luckily we can pause it so we can take full advantage of this all-foreseen site. So they do have a mining facility, which explains all their income. Luckily, most of their structures are outside their shield generator, which is great for us because it means that once we destroy them, we'll be able to do stuff a lot easier. They do seem to have some walkers around, but we do have a few more income. Well, compared to this, not really that much. But we'll see what we can come up with. I feel like we can definitely do something. Speaking of, I think we're gonna go for their heavy factory. And you know what? We're gonna build a few T4B tanks. So let's start building a few of those. Now we have a few units ready now. The same way that we do for space battles, we just go to our reinforcements tab and we grab the units and bring them forward so we can drop them. The situation will begin some T4B tanks, and luckily our Jedi here have been great assistant to us and have helped us defend besides these turbo lasers. So here out, we see that we're dropping the tanks. We can even build a few more, don't mind if I do. And I think we're gonna go storm the enemy's base with 3 Jedi alongside us. What do you guys think? I think it's a great idea. Just in case, we can also still build a few more heroes, such as Garmbel Iblis, being an amazing hero with a one hell of a good cannon, well, tank. So I feel like we're gonna save up a bit more, buy a few more heroes, and then attack the enemy base. A few heroes and tanks later, we are now ready to bring in Garmbel Iblis with this humongous tank. As you hear, maximum unit capacity, so that means that we can no longer drop any more troops into the battlefield. This also does happen in space battles, since as you can see here underneath the planet name, you have something that shows a little bit of a unit, and that's the unit cap. This means that's the maximum of units you can bring into a battle at once. And as you can see, Obi-Wan is... Can I do Jedi mind trick? That's amazing. So now, and hopefully you excuse the background noise, we'll be choosing all our units with the drag and drop feature, and we'll be moving them towards the enemy base. Our Jedi can definitely hold their own against anything that the enemy throws at us. Surprisingly well, actually. As all the tanks are currently moving outside of here. Yoda's actually moving with them. Speaking of Yoda, what are you seeing? And Luke and Obi-Wan are just owning everything. And Obi-Wan almost got killed by a Wampa. That would have been really bad, because there was a Wampa cave. This can happen in natural maps where they natural spawn mobs attack you, which is really bad. And Emperor! Well, this is kind of bad. We need Luke. Never mind. It seems that the T2B tanks could handle the Emperor all by themselves. And yes, Jedi do naturally heal themselves, thanks to, well, force healing, because by this time, it was unavailable just to Rey Skywalker. It pains me to even say that. Luckily, it seems that we're destroying the majority of the bases rather easily, since the Jedi can force crush buildings, and the T2B tanks can more than easily handle all of this. Those stormtroopers don't stand a chance. Where even is Ber Iblis? Oh, Yoda stayed back here. Yoda, I need you to move forward, please. Oh, could you not even move out? Wait, are you stuck in there? I think he may be stuck in there. Oh no, he's not. Okay, he can move out. It's fine. Well, now I want all of you to move forward and attack the base. So please, Obi-Wan and Luke, move forward and take down the base. As you can see, Luke and Obi-Wan are easily taking down the base. Well, at least this turret is not going to be killing anybody anytime soon. And here's everybody to destroy everything in their path. And Iblis has finally arrived as well. Iblis also does have turbo lasers, which is really, really nice. Speaking of ships, both in space and only this one in ground, have hard points like the shield generator and laser cannons and other hard points, which once you destroy them, those capacities such as weapons and the shield generator will be unusable. So it's really nice to destroy those first. Seems that the only units that the enemy has left are these few ones right here and their command center, and once that's destroyed, we shall be good. There's Yoda doing those acrobatics of his. So once this is destroyed, we will have won the battle. And just in case, for the sake of overkill, we are going to be calling in a bombing run, which might not even arrive by the time that the battle ends. There it is. And yeah, that's a ground battle. Now, as we go into Galactic Conquest, you'll be presented with a few options in the case of official maps that will depend on the amount of planets, as you can see, that you can choose to fight, the tech level they start in, and the credits that you will start with. We'll be doing Heart of the Maw for a simple, easy Galactic Conquest that we won't be finishing in this video, of course, but to give you a good idea of how to play a Galactic Conquest. As you can see, you will have story objectives to do, such as in this situation what the Heart of the Maw brings, and what you need to achieve victory, which is the Empire will achieve victory if the Maw, Kuan, Hoda, Moncalmar, and Jain 4 are conquered, time limit 60 galactic days. So this is more of a challenge. You also get completed missions that will income from Darth Vader. We will be closing this, and as you can see, it's a rather small map with only a very few planets, which is rather easy to do since we'll be fighting against the Sand Consortium, the Rebellion, which is most likely over through these worlds, and the Empire, which are these 4 worlds. Simple as it is, you grab space units, as shown here, and you drag them together to form a fleet, and then simply you can grab the fleet, drag it into a world to simply move them and to attack. You can also combine fleets from just dragging them in the galactic menu. Also, you have a bunch of ground units that you can choose, such in this situation we have Grand Moff Tarkin, Emperor Palpatine, and Colonel Mount Civilian Veers. And you can also build a grand variety of structures on the ground. For now, I feel like we're going to be building a light factory and an officer's academy. In Tatooine, since it seems that we have more space, we'll be building a heavy factory, a research facility, and since it's a world that can build exclusive buildings, we'll be building a hot palace and a cantina. In Kuat, our ground is already occupied, but we'll be building space station upgrades, as you can see here, to get to space station level 4. Space stations allow you to increase your unit cap, so they're really handy after you've built way too many units on our missing space. You can do that in all planets, as you can see. And the way that you can build units is by simply looking at the ones that you want to build, looking at the amount of credits that you have, the amount of credits that you make weekly, and choosing which unit you want to make. In this situation, we'll be building an ATST, and as we press play, we'll see that the percentages will go by, and afterwards it will be built in the ground, and we'll have a Grand Army. Grand Armies, just as space fleets, you can drag them out, put them there, and move them to attack other worlds once you've invaded with your fleet in space first. Besides that, it's completely similar to what you've seen in skirmish ground and land battles so far, with just more complicated steps in between, allowing for a more dynamic experience to be enjoyed within Empire War. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video in me teaching you how to play Star Wars Empire War, not only the normal version of the game but Forces of Corruption. If you would like to play any modded version of the game, which has its own set of rules and additions of economy, new ships, new heroes, and a bunch of other features, then all you need to do is go to the Steam Workshop, subscribe as you would to any other type of content. If you allow me to teach you how to subscribe to Steam Workshop content, I'll be happy to do another video on that if you so desire. And to access those mods, you simply would go to your main menu, as you see here, click Options, Mods, and here you'll see the list of mods that you subscribe to through Steam. You'll simply click them, click Select, and you'll be starting your mod. If it does crash the first time, all you need to do is restart the game, play it again, do the same process I just told you right now, and the mod will start. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. It means a lot to the channel. We're starting out strong. This is the first month of uploading. So far we'll be doing really well, and I'm really proud of what this community is becoming. And hopefully if you'd like to see more videos like these, like the full explanation of every single aspect I can possibly think of in Empire War, I'll be more than happy to do that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!